Hello everyone, DMFF here, and thank you so much for 500 subscribers. That was my very first big milestone, and all my viewers out there that subscribed helped me achieve that goal, and I want to thank you all so much for allowing me to achieve that milestone. And here's to the next one, 1,000 subscribers! But now that we're at 500 subscribers, I placed a poll to see what you all wanted for my 500 subscriber special, and you all voted for various different things, and ultimately the winner was my top 10 favorite GameCube games of all time. That being said, the other choices for my 500 subscriber special will most likely be videos upcoming in the future, so look forward to those. Anyway, these are my top 10 favorite GameCube games of all time, and some honorable mentions. So first, we'll get into those. Anyway, if you like this video, let me know at the end of the video. We can drop a comment or whatever. And, yeah, without further ado, here's my top 10 favorite GameCube games of all time. Firstly, I'd like to quickly mention some honorable mentions for this list. Ocarina of Time Master Quest, Wario World, Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing, Super Mario Sunshine, James Bond 007, Agent Under Fire, Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life, and Mario Party 4 are all absolute bangers on this system, but they did not quite make it into the top 10 for me personally. I do love all of these games that I just listed and highly recommend you play all of them if you have not. But, without further ado, on to the rest of the actual list. Number 10. Blood Omen 2 from the Legacy of Kain series. Blood Omen 2 is a game from 2002 and is an action-adventure game developed by Crystal Dynamics and published by Eidos Interactive for PS2, Xbox, Windows, and GameCube, and is the fourth title in the entirety of the Legacy of Kain series. Very different than most Legacy of Kain games, especially far cry different from the original Blood Omen, which was an isometric view. This time, it's a third-person view, with you controlling Kain as the main character. Kain returns after his first game, and there is lots of puzzles, action, swordplay, and even special abilities that you can unlock with Kain. Also, you're a vampire, and apparently you can just suck people's blood from a distance right straight through their chest. Definitely an interesting game, and definitely probably one of the worst in the Legacy of Kain series as a whole, but I love all of the Legacy of Kain series, including this game. And that is why it is my number 10 on my top 10 favorite GameCube games. Number 9. Yu-Gi-Oh! The False-Bound Kingdom. Yu-Gi-Oh! The False-Bound Kingdom, released in 2002 as well, and 2003 in North America, and is another strange game that is kind of like an RTS and RPG combined together, as you control armies on the overworld and try to take over various places on the overworld. And when your armies meet up with other armies, you are then thrust into a turn-based RPG. It's actually a lot of fun, based on all of the characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime and many of the monsters that we have all come to know and love, such as Dark Magician Girl, and many, many others. Too many to list here. You can play as Yugi, Kaiba, and even a secret third character if you beat the stories on both of these characters. I highly recommend it. If you like Yu-Gi-Oh! And you like RTS and role-playing games, this is an excellent game that still holds up today. Number 8. Mario Kart Double Dash. Mario Kart Double Dash is a kart racing game that released in November of 2003, and there hasn't been another Mario Kart game like it. You actually choose 2 characters for your 1 cart. And you can have special items that per character. You can swap who's the driver and who's the person using the items in the back. It's really cool, and there's actually a lot of different combinations that you can do. It's a whole lot of fun, and is still one of my favorite Mario Kart games to this very day. I think Mario Kart World may have beaten my favorite Mario Karts of all time, but this is still a really good one, and I highly recommend going back, checking it out. The tracks are really good. The game feels like really good to play. The controls are really nice. And that gimmick of the 2 characters being able to swap from front to back is actually a lot of fun, and I wish they would return to it. Number 7. Super Smash Bros. Melee is a game from 2001, which is a crossover fighting game developed by HAL Laboratory and published by Nintendo for the GameCube. It's the 2nd installment of the Super Smash Bros. Series. If you tuned into the N64 one, you would see the 1st installment on that top 10 list. Again, this is basically another iteration beyond the original. It expands the roster of characters, the graphics are better, there's more moves, there's more items, there's more things to do, there's more single-player modes, there's all sorts of trophies to collect, and the mechanics are probably the most skill-intensive out of the entirety of the series. Much to my detriment. No, I cannot consistently wave dash. Every once in a while I can get one, but no, I'm not a top-tier player like that. But I do enjoy playing this with my friends still, and it is something that I go back and play every once in a while when we get a little bit tired of the newer mechanics, or we want to shake it up a little bit. Number 6. Tony Hawk's Underground. Tony Hawk's Underground is a skateboarding video game, and the 5th entry in the Tony Hawk series as a whole, following Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. It was developed by Neversoft, and published by Activision for the GameCube, PlayStation, Xbox, and Game Boy Advance. I believe it was also published for Windows a little bit later, as I have played it on Windows, and even got to upload my face to my character, which was a little uncanny and weird, but hey. This game is a lot of fun. Easily my favorite Tony Hawk's skateboarding game of all time. The gameplay is more story-driven than previous objective-based gameplay. You will actually follow your own character alongside some of your friends as you come up in the world of skating, and it's a ton of fun. It has a lot of things that aren't skateboarding related, but it is mostly skateboard related. I believe that Tony Hawk's Underground 2 took it a little bit too far, where it's mostly non-skateboarding stuff, so I actually prefer this game a whole lot over any other Tony Hawk's game out there. There's a lot of cool tricks, a lot of customization, and you can basically play as yourself in an up-and-coming skateboarder game. And I highly recommend it if you used to skateboard back in the day like I used to. This is great to be able to feel like you can relive those glory days again. Number 5. Mario Party 6. Mario Party 6 is a party game developed by Hudson Soft and published by Nintendo for the GameCube. It's obviously the 6th installment of the Mario Party series, and has quickly become one of my absolute favorites. I would say that this one is tied, personally, with the newest, Super Mario Party Jamboree. But we're talking about Mario Party 6 here. Mario Party 6 kind of takes an entire mechanic from Mario Party 2 from one map, that of the day-night cycle, and applies it to every map in this game, which is a lot of fun. There are differences between day and night, and it makes for a lot of variance and variety that isn't available in every single Mario Party game. The maps in this game are absolutely top tier as well, and you can actually feel a little bit like you're playing the stock trading game on one map, where at nighttime the stars' prices will RNG change, and sometimes there'll be 5 coins a star, and it's crazy. You can buy up to 5 at a time. It's nuts. This is one of the best Mario Party games ever released, and I highly recommend that you check it out if you haven't at all. It is kind of hard to find nowadays, but if you do have it already or can easily get your hands on it, I highly recommend playing this game with your friends. It's oodles of fun. Number 4. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door is an RPG from 2004, developed by Intelligent Systems and published by Nintendo for the GameCube. This is the second game in the Paper Mario series, following Paper Mario on the N64. This game, unlike the original Paper Mario, is not Babby Game Easy like the previous entry. This game actually has some difficulty, and you better get good at your super guards. This is easily the best role-playing game on the entirety of the console, with memorable characters, excellent graphics, even though everything is basically paper, whimsical locations, really fun battle mechanics, and is just even more Paper Mario in every facet. The story is interesting, the game is a lot of fun, you get all sorts of cool abilities. If you haven't played this game, it was recently remastered for the Nintendo Switch, so I would highly recommend picking it up for that, as it'll look even better than it did back then. But it is a game that I highly recommend picking up in one way or another and giving a play, as it is easily the best Mario RPG and the best RPG on the system of the Nintendo GameCube. Number 3. The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess was released in 2006, developed and published by Nintendo for the GameCube and the Wii. I recommend the GameCube version well over the Wii version. It's an action-adventure game, as most Zelda games are. This is a darker, grittier Zelda that everyone wanted on this console, and back then everyone was upset about Wind Waker being cartoony graphics and they wanted the grungy edginess. Well, this is the game that was released for us. Absolutely solid entry into the 3D Legend of Zelda series. It features a super strong Link that can just do stuff without any gear or anything crazy that he needs to find in dungeons, though he does find many cool items throughout his journey in this game. Among some other things, which I know this game came out in 2006, but I'm still not going to be that guy that spoils it. What's the wolf on the, what's this wolf? You'll have to find out by playing it, and I highly recommend doing so, as it is an absolute must-play in the Zelda series. Number 2, The Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker. The Wind Waker was released in North America in early 2003, and is an action-adventure game developed and published by Nintendo for the GameCube. This Zelda game, another excellent entry into the 3D Zelda series, uses cel-shaded graphics, which was very controversial at the time, but ended up making it so then this game aged like a fine wine for the next 20-some-odd years. This game takes place about 100 years after Ocarina of Time, and seems like the entire world is quite flooded with ocean, to the point where it's mostly ocean. But that's okay. You're still going to go and adventure throughout the world, sailing the ocean seas and plundering dungeons as you always do in the Zelda games. This one has so much charm with these cel-shaded graphics. It looks amazing. It's a ton of fun. The characters are memorable. And, dare I say, this is the best Ganon in the entire series? Yeah, this Ganondorf honestly feels a little bit relatable and isn't as hot-headed and just willing to go off the chain. And, you know, I mean, he's still wrong, but I mean, you can at least level with him a bit, and he seems like a more matured Ganondorf. I mean, he's hundreds of years old at this point. But I definitely recommend playing this game. There's lots of twists and turns, and it's a ton of fun, especially if you like to sail the open seas in adventure games. This is the game for you. And my number one, Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime is a 2002 action-adventure game developed by Retro Studios and published by Nintendo for the GameCube. It's the fifth main Metroid game and the first 3D game in the series. This game feels a lot like Super Metroid in 3D form, even though the planet is totally different, the atmosphere is totally different, and the screw attack is notably absent. This is one of the best Metroidvanias ever created. You follow Samus Aran as usual throughout the world of Talon 4, formerly inhabited by the Chozo race. You must traverse this world and find out why the Chozo here died mysteriously after a meteor impact that occurred. I'm not going to spoil anything further beyond that. If you really like Metroidvanias and you want to give a 3D one a try, especially because a lot of the Castlevania 3D Metroidvanias are absolute garbage, this one's not. This one is probably the best in class for the genre of 3D Metroidvanias, and I highly recommend you give it a shot. I still go back and play it every few years. I have a gameplay past live stream on the channel that you can check out. It's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun back there for people to come in and chat with me about it and watch me play that wonderful game. If you want to see it again sometime, let me know. I know I am in the middle of Metroid Prime 2 playthrough that I was streaming. Unfortunately, I had to cut that short, but I may return to it sometime in the future. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. If you liked my top 10, or you had a completely different top 10 and you want to let me know about it, comment down below and we can have a discussion about it. Otherwise, if you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and ding that bell if you want to be notified of my videos going forward. Also, if you would like to support me further, check me out on Patreon down in the description below. Thank you very much to KML3170. My one VIP DMFFer. If you would like your name or your username read off at the end of my videos, join my Patreon today. Anyway, take care, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.